We've all been in a position where we need specific, sensitive information. Maybe you need to figure out a coworker's salary, pinpoint a competitor's product launch, or understand a client's hidden motivations. But if you ask for that data directly, your target will immediately shut down. To bypass those defenses, intelligence operatives use a conversational technique called elicitation. Developed by the CIA, it allows you to extract information without ever asking a single question. This works because our brains categorize questions and statements differently. When you are hit with a question mark, it sets off an internal security alarm. You realize you are being probed and you raise your guard. But if that same probe is delivered as a declarative statement, ending in a simple period, the alarm stays dormant. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. Right now, pick one specific piece of sensitive information you want to uncover from someone, and we are going to build a personalized elicitation sequence to get it. Step 1 is the foundational rule of elicitation. The more sensitive the information you need, the fewer questions you are allowed to ask. Look at the target intel you just wrote down and strike a line through any question marks. Step 2 is correcting the record. This is where you draft a deliberately false statement that overshoots the truth. Because most people have a natural urge to correct inaccurate information, we can use that reflex to bait them into volunteering the facts. Let's say you want to know what a grocery store employee makes. Instead of asking for their wage, you approach them with an inflated claim. You tell them you read an article stating all employees here just got bumped up to $26 an hour. Often, they will quickly correct you by stating their actual lower wage in response. During the early days of the Cold War, Soviet intelligence relied on this exact tactic to extract data from U.S. Navy sailors stationed at ports in Thailand and Singapore. A Russian operative would find an off-duty sailor sitting at a local bar, have a drink, and strike up an unthreatening conversation. The spy would casually state that German submarines were faster because their propellers were 22 feet in diameter, while U.S. submarines only used 18-foot propellers. The sailor would frequently object to the false specs. To prove the operative wrong, they would often outline the actual dimensions of their ship's hardware. For step 2, look at your notepad and write down a deliberate overestimation for your own target intel. Now let's move to step 3, bracketing. This is how you extract specific dates or numbers by providing a false range for the target to narrow down. Imagine you need to know when a competitor is planning a major corporate move, but you need the exact date without alerting them to your interest. You approach an employee and state that you heard their move is happening sometime between March and May. The employee will often correct that range. They might clarify that the move is actually happening in February, narrowing your broad estimate to a specific month while barely realizing they've shared an internal detail. By establishing a wide boundary, you make the target feel like they are merely clarifying a minor point. They remain unaware that they have just handed you a piece of guarded information. Once you have that initial correction, you deploy step 4, disbelief. Here, you push back against the target's answer with skepticism to see if they will provide further justification. In the corporate move scenario, you would tell the employee there is no way they are moving in February. You might point to the cold weather or current interest rates as reasons why the CEO would never approve it. This forces the target to defend their credibility. To prove their insider knowledge is accurate, they often begin detailing private corporate strategy and context to justify why their information is correct. Go back to your notepad. Underneath your false statement, draft a disbelief pushback tailored to challenge the specific information you are trying to acquire. Layering disbelief utilizes the human ego. When someone feels their status as an insider is being questioned, they frequently shift from a defensive posture to an explanatory one. Step 5 is the maintenance framework. If the conversation stalls, you can use I bet phrases to keep the target talking without reverting to questions. Instead of asking about their job, you provide a statement like, I bet you had some interesting experiences doing that, or so you face some serious challenges there. Even a simple statement like, I bet you hate that coffee, requires a response. They have to either confirm your guess, correct it, or explain how they actually prefer their drink. These statements help maintain a casual, empathetic tone while you continue to elicit information. Write down one I bet backup phrase on your notepad to use as a fallback. Look at the sequence you've built. The formula is now complete. A false statement, narrowed by a bracket, challenged by disbelief, and maintained with I bet phrases. Combined, These steps lead you to your target intel. However, there is a limit to how you use this. Do not use this sequence for everyday interactions, like finding out someone's coffee order. Using this framework for trivial matters makes normal conversations feel unnecessarily complex. This tool should be reserved for cases where you need to navigate through guarded defenses. Your final step is to practice. I challenge you to test just the I bet technique today on a low-stakes topic, like a friend's commute. You will see firsthand how people respond when you replace a question mark with a period.